Let me tell you a story about Marcus. Car accident in a grocery store parking lot. No police report. The other driver talked him out of it. That was my fault. I'll make sure my insurance handles it. Marcus agreed. Seemed reasonable. 2 weeks later, his neck started hurting. He called the other driver's insurance. They told him the other driver said Marcus backed into him. No police report, no witnesses, claim denied. I'm Mama Justice, and whether it was a minor car accident or a serious wreck, if there's no police report, this is your survival guide. The other side already has their version. Now you need yours. The driver who told you not to worry about it wasn't being nice. They were protecting themselves. And the moment you drove away without a police report, you handed them the ability to rewrite the entire story. Here's what a police report actually does. It creates an independent, third-party record written by an officer who has no stake in the outcome. It documents who was there, what the damage looked like, and what the road conditions were, and in many cases, who the officer believed was at fault. Insurance adjusters treat that report as the starting point for every claim they process. Without it, there's no starting point. There's just your version and their version. And the driver who admitted fault to your face at the scene, they can deny everything 48 hours later. Their insurance company will back the new story because they have no reason not to. Here's the trap. The friendlier the other driver was at the scene, the more suspicious you should be about what's coming next. A person who knows they caused an accident and still talks you out of calling the police is not being generous. They are managing their liability. What to understand? No police report means no independent witness to what really happened. That's what the other driver was counting on. What to do right now, even days or weeks later? If you're watching this video and your accident was days ago or even weeks ago, it's not too late to act. But every day you wait, you lose something you can't get back. Here's what to do, in this order. First, write down everything you remember. The time, the location, what was said, what the damage looked like, the weather, the road conditions, how it happened. Do it right now while you still have details in your head. A written account from day 3 is worth more than a verbal recollection from months 2 to 3. Second, call the local agency that should have been notified, local police, the sheriff's office, or highway patrol, and ask to make a delayed report or give a statement for a subsequent investigation. In many states, including Mississippi, the law requires you to report an accident involving injury, death, or property damage over a certain amount. And if your accident happened in a parking lot, know that the police often won't respond to those, but you can still go to the station and report it yourself. Filing late is better than not filing at all. Third, call your insurance company. Almost every policy requires prompt reporting. If you wait too long, they may try to deny coverage, even if you weren't at fault. When you call, be factual. Tell them what happened. Do not speculate about fault. Do not apologize. Fourth, if you were hurt, even if the pain didn't show up until days later, see a doctor. Medical records create a timeline that connects your injury to the accident. Without that timeline, the insurance will argue your injury came from something else. Write, report, call, doctor. If you do nothing else from this video, do those 4 things in that order. The evidence that can replace a police report. So, how do you prove fault in a car accident without a police report? You use everything else. A police report is not the only piece of evidence that matters, and some of what you need might still exist right now if you move fast enough. Dashcam footage, yours or theirs, is the single strongest replacement for a police report. If you have it, preserve it immediately. Do not record over it. Surveillance footage from nearby businesses, traffic cameras, or doorbell cameras on neighboring homes. This is the evidence with the shortest shelf life. Most commercial systems record over themselves within days. If your accident happened near a store, a gas station, or a house with a Ring camera, call them today. Not next week, today. Photos you took at the scene, damage to both vehicles, license plates, skid marks, debris, road conditions. If you didn't take photos, check whether anyone that was with you did. Text messages or phone calls between you and the other driver after the accident. If they admitted fault in a text, even something casual like, sorry again about earlier, that's evidence. Screenshot it. Save it. Do not delete the conversation. Witness statements. If anyone saw the accident, a passenger, a bystander, another driver, get their name and number before they become impossible to find. Your own written account, time-stamped as close to the accident as possible, and a mechanic's damage report documenting the impact pattern on your vehicle. They already have their version. Now you need yours. What to preserve? Footage, photos, text, medical records. If you don't have all of these, get what you can. Get them today. What the insurance company will do without a police report? Well, without a police report, the insurance company does not have to take your word for what happened. And most of the time, honestly, they won't. Here's what to expect. First, they may dispute who was at fault. No police report means no officer's assessment. The adjuster will use that gap to question your version, split fault, or deny liability entirely. Even in a rear-end collision, which is almost always the trailing driver's fault, they'll try to flip the story when there's no third-party record. Second, they may slow the process down. They'll request documents you may not have, send you in circles, and drag their feet. Every week of delay is a week closer to evidence disappearing and you giving up. That's not an accident. That's a strategy. Third, they may lowball you or deny the claim outright. Without strong documentation, the adjuster will argue your injuries aren't connected to the accident, or the damage was pre-existing, or the accident didn't happen the way you described it. Now, if you're in Mississippi, here's what you need to know about how the law works here. Mississippi is an at-fault state, but it is also a comparative fault state. That means the driver who caused the accident, their insurance pays. But if the adjuster can pinpoint any of the blame on you, they will try to reduce what they pay. Under Mississippi Code Section 63-3411, if the accident caused injury, death, or more than $500 in property damage, you are legally required to report it immediately by the quickest means available. If you didn't do that, requesting a delayed report is still better than doing nothing. And you have 3 years under Mississippi Code Section 15149 to file a personal injury lawsuit. But most insurance policies require prompt notice, and delay can create coverage problems if the insurer says it was prejudiced by late reporting. Don't confuse the lawsuit deadline with the insurance deadline. The adjuster is not trying to figure out what happened. They are trying to close the file for as little as possible. A missing police report is their favorite tool for doing it. What to demand? That the insurance company investigates your claim based on the evidence you provide, not dismiss it because one document is missing. When do you need a lawyer? Not every fender bender without a police report needs a lawyer. But if any of these situations sound like yours, trying to handle it alone is a big mistake. The other driver changed their story. The insurance company is denying fault or stalling your claim. You were injured and the bills are piling up. You were in a car accident with no police report and no witnesses, and now it's your word against theirs. You're being pressured to give a recorded statement to the other driver's insurance company, and let me be clear about that. In most situations, you're not required to give a recorded statement to the other side's insurer. What you say in that recording can and will be used to reduce or deny your claim. A lawyer can help you request a delayed report, preserve the evidence, and deal with the insurance company before the story hardens against you. A lawyer can interview witnesses, handle every conversation with the adjuster, and if the claim gets denied, a lawyer can file a lawsuit before the statute runs out. The insurance company has adjusters, attorneys, and a system designed to pay you as little as possible. If you try to match that alone with no police report and no legal experience, you're not in a fair fight. And you don't have to be. What to remember? A free consultation costs you nothing. Waiting too long can cost you everything. The biggest mistake people make after an accident with no police report isn't the missing report. It's assuming they don't have a case. If you've lost a loved one in an accident, you're not sure who has the right to take legal action, watch our next video. 5 people who can file a wrongful death lawsuit in Mississippi. And if you've been in an accident in Mississippi with no police report, call Mama Justice today. Tell us what happened. We'll tell you what you still have and what we can do with it. The consultation is free. The evidence won't wait. I'm Mama Justice, and I fight like a mother for families just like yours.